Hello, everyone, and welcome to another session of Listener's Paradise. Today, we'll be talking about the poem Birds of Paradise by Christina Rossetti. And in today's session, I would be explaining the poem to you, the rhyme schemes, the important words, as well as the figure of speech. So, without much further ado, let's get started. I will first read out the poem for you. Golden winged, silver winged, winged with flashing flame, a flight of birds I saw, birds without a name, singing songs in their own tongue. Song of songs they came, one to another calling, each answering each, one to another calling in their proper speech. High above my head they wheel, far out of reach. On wings of flame they went and came, with a cadenced clang, their silver wings twinkled, their golden wings rang. The wind it whistled through their wings, where in heaven they sang. They flashed and they darted awhile before mine eyes, mounting, 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 still in haste to scale the skies. Birds without a nest on earth, birds of paradise. Where the moon riseth not, nor sun seeks the west, there to sing their glory, which they sing at rest, there to sing their love song, when they sing their best. Not in any garden that mortal foot hath trod, not in any flowering tree that springs from earthly sod, but in the garden where they dwell, the paradise of God. This slide represents the list of the important words in this beautiful poem. Please pause the video at this point and note this down so that it can help you to understand the poem better. Now I will begin by explaining the poem to you. We have here the first stanza of the poem, and in the opening lines, the poet describes a surreal and enchanting scene where birds with golden, silver, and flaming wings appear. These birds are mysterious and unnamed, adding to their mystique. Their presence is otherworldly, as if they are celestial beings rather than ordinary creatures. And these birds, they sing in their own language, which is unknown to humans, but the music is deeply melodious. The phrase "song of songs" suggests that their singing is divine, possibly symbolizing a spiritual or heavenly message. The imagery of flashing flame and precious metals gives them an ethereal glow, making them seem like messengers from another realm, evoking a sense of awe and wonder. In the next stanza, the poet is emphasizing the communication between the birds. As these birds they call to one another and respond in their unique language. Their interaction is harmonious, creating a lyrical atmosphere. The repetition of one to another calling. The poet is using it two times in the second stanza, one to another calling as an opening part of the stanza and again as a third line in the same stanza. So this repetition stresses the unity between the birds and their purpose. Again, the phrase in their proper speech, it suggests that the language of the birds is natural. though incomprehensible to the humans who are listening to the birds. These birds, they fly high above the poets, making them unreachable and reinforcing their divine and supernatural essence. Their movements suggest freedom and detachment from earthly constraints, elevating them to a mystical status. The presence of these birds evokes a sense of admiration, curiosity, and an acknowledgement of their mystery. And Christina Rossetti, the poetess, she is in awe of these birds. In the third stanza of this poem, the poetess describes beautifully the way the birds take flight. And the flight is described as rhythmic and musical, enhancing their mystical aura. The poetess uses the phrase cadenced clang, which suggests a structured, almost orchestral sound accompanying their movement. The silver wings tinkle like delicate chimes, while their golden wings they are ringing. This produces a richer, more resonant sound. The natural elements interact with them. The wind whistles through their feathers, further contributing to the celestial symphony. Their singing is not just earthly but heavenly, and this suggests they might belong to a divine realm. This stanza reinforces their ethereal presence, portraying them as majestic, heavenly creatures engaged in a celestial performance high above the world. In the following stanza, the birds are said to be moving swiftly before Christina Rossetti's eyes. So she says, they flashed and they darted a while before mine eyes. So they are flashing and darting in a dazzling display. Their continuous ascent towards the skies suggests urgency, as if they are eager to leave the earthly realm behind. The repetition of the word mounting, mounting, mounting still in the third line, it emphasizes their determination, the determination of these birds to reach a higher celestial plane. The phrase birds without a nest on earth suggests that these birds do not belong to this world, reinforcing their divine nature. By calling them birds of paradise, the poetess confirms that they are heavenly beings existing beyond human reach. Their home is not on earth but in a realm of purity and light. The fifth stanza describes the bird's final destination, an eternal divine place where neither the sun rises nor the moon sets. To talk about this place, Christina Rossetti is using the words where the moon riseth not, nor sun seeks the west. This suggests a timeless heavenly realm beyond the natural cycles of earth. In this sacred place, the birds sing gloriously, but unlike on earth, their songs are not fleeting. Here, the birds sing in a state of eternal rest, implying peace and fulfillment. Their songs express love at the highest form, beyond earthly limitations. This emphasis that their purpose is not bound to the mortal existence, but rather to celebrate divine joy, love, and harmony in an everlasting celestial paradise. In the last stanza, the poetess contrasts the heavenly home of the birds with the earth. Their dwelling is not in any garden where the mortals walk. So the mortals do not tread there. This poetess uses the line that not in any garden that mortal foot hath trod, nor in any flowering tree that springs from earthly sod. So the birds do not dwell in a garden where human beings walk, nor in any tree that grows from earthly soil. This highlights the separation between the divine and the normal existence, the mundane of life. Instead, these birds exist in the paradise of God, a sacred, untouched space of eternal beauty and peace. This imagery suggests the idea of heaven, a place beyond human experience where purity and harmony reign. The stanza enforces the idea that these birds symbolize spiritual beings, perhaps angels or souls, who reside in a realm far removed from any earthly existence. After having described this beautiful poem, now I'll talk about the themes in this poem. And the first theme which we come across is the idea of spiritual transcendence. The poem emphasizes the idea of transcending the earthly realm and ascending to a higher divine existence. The birds described are not ordinary creatures. They are radiant, otherworldly, and without a home on earth. Their continuous ascent towards the skies symbolizes a spiritual journey, a striving toward a sacred destination beyond human reach. This imagery of golden and silver wings, along with their melodious songs, suggests a celestial presence, perhaps angels or divine souls seeking unity with God. The poetess contrasts the mortal world with the heavenly one, showing that these birds do not belong to any earthly garden but reside in the paradise of God. The idea of rising beyond worldly imitations is reinforced through description of a place where the sun does not set and the moon does not rise, an eternal realm untouched by time. Their singing in this space represents a state of peace and fulfillment, highlighting the theme of transcendence as a spiritual aspiration. Through the birds, the poetess conveys the human desire to move beyond earthly constraints and enter a divine state of being where love, beauty, and glory exist in its purest forms, free from worldly suffering or imperfection. The next theme which we come across is divine music and harmony. The poem heavily focuses on this theme, using sound imagery to create a sense of celestial beauty. The birds do not just fly, they sing, they call and answer each other in perfect coordination, symbolizing an eternal chorus of praise. Their voices are described as tinkling, ringing, and clanging, and it suggests an otherworldly symphony that resonates through the heavens. The poetess presents music as more than mere sound. It is a sacred expression of divine love and glory. This celestial harmony is contrasted with earthly limitations, as these birds do not sing in any human inhabited garden, but in the eternal paradise of God. Their song is not fleeting or temporary like earthly music, but exists in a realm beyond time where they sing at their absolute best. The repetition of phrases like calling and answering emphasizes their unity, suggesting a divine order in which all beings are connected through their voices. This theme of divine music and harmony highlights the idea that in the spiritual world, music is not just for entertainment but serves a higher purpose. praising and celebrating the divine in perfect harmony, creating a soundscape that transcends mortal understanding. The next theme is heaven and eternal life, and the poem beautifully explores the theme of heaven and eternal life, describing a realm that exists beyond the physical world. The birds, described as having no earthly nest, symbolize souls or divine beings that belong to a higher place. Their destination is not a mortal garden, but the paradise of God, an eternal, untouched space where they find true fulfillment. The poetess describes heaven as a timeless realm where the cycles of the sun and the moon do not exist, reinforcing the idea of eternity. This suggests that the afterlife is beyond human perception, free from the constraints of time and space. The bird's continuous flight and joyful singing represents a state of eternal bliss, implying that heaven is a place of endless celebration and divine love. The contrast between earthly gardens and the celestial paradise further highlights the superiority of the spiritual realm over the physical one. The poetess suggests that true peace and happiness are not found in the material world, but in the presence of the divine. Through this theme of heaven and eternal life, the poem conveys a vision of heaven as a place of unending beauty, music, and spiritual fulfillment, offering a hopeful perception of life beyond earth. These are the figures of speech associated with this poem. You can make notes as you go to help you understand the poem better. Thank you for listening. For more such content, do subscribe to our channel.